So this is the Girls in STEM program that I decided to create because I recognized that through a lot of research, there was definitely a lapse in women pursuing STEM careers. In middle school, when one event or another made them think that they couldn't do that, they couldn't be a woman in STEM. The biggest thing that I want them to get out of this session is just the knowledge that there are different types of STEM careers that they can pursue, because through seeing these relatable role models, they can see that people like me can have these careers. The girls are about to meet Joan Melendez-Meissner, Natlin Burgos, Girika Gorthy, as well as Carolina Rivera Osorio, and they are 4 amazing women with STEM careers.
My name is Joan Melendez-Meissner, or Joanne in Spanish, and I am so happy to be here. I am a NASA engineer working on scientific missions that go to space. I help launch Mars rovers, satellites that get us weather. I'm from Barranquitas, Puerto Rico, so when I lived in a very small town, so there was not a lot of light, and therefore I was able to look at the stars really easily. I was very curious as a kid. I would ask my mom if I could eat the stars or if I could touch the stars, and she allowed me to feed that curiosity, and she bought me books. She would buy me telescopes. She would buy me microscopes, just because I was very curious as to how things work. That curiosity stemmed throughout middle school and high school. I was able to join robotics classes. I was able to join stargazing activities. I would go to my local science museum and I would be able to just explore and be there for hours. This is why I'm really excited that you all are here, because this is how I was. I started out just like you. I decided to do the engineering route. As an engineer, one of the things that you want to do is you want to make sure that you test all of your components in the spacecraft and the rover to make sure that it's going to survive the launch. My day-to-day kind of is different. It's really exciting because one day I'm in a meeting talking about the testing that I'm going to do. Other days I'm actually physically working on the rocket, testing to make sure that it's going to help launch that satellite or the astronauts. And then at the end of the day, the most exciting part is mission control, getting to launch the rocket the day of.
I also work with her in Kennedy Space Center, and I also support the launch services program. I'm from Puerto Rico. I was born and raised in Puerto Rico from a town called Carolina. I got my degree in mechanical engineering. I started my career at NASA as a student when I was in college. You apply to their internship program, and then in a summer or a semester, you work with them, and then you come back to the school and finish your courses all the way until you finish your degree. If you're lucky, they will offer you a full-time job where you can continue your career with them. That picture on the top right, when you see like that yellow tube, that's actually a lifting beam that I designed with the help of other engineers that was used for the Artemis rocket, which is the rocket that is gonna take the first woman African American to the moon in the future. So I'm very proud of that hardware. What I basically do for my job, give you an example. Let's just say that you have a rover and a satellite that is going to study the moon, and you want to know how to get there. You want to know how you can buckle that rover or satellite into the rocket so it could get safely to the moon. I would like to say that you can achieve all your goals. You just have to believe in yourself. This is me at 14, dreaming of working for NASA. And now I'm here.
My name is Girika, and I'm a student like all of you, just a little bit older. I'm currently a freshman, my first year at Columbia University in the College of Engineering and Applied Sciences. Growing up, as a little girl, I used to love space. I used to watch Star Wars, Star Trek. I used to love looking up into the night sky, seeing the moon, and ask myself questions all the time. And these questions sparked my curiosity for space, but growing up, I honestly didn't think I could be in an aerospace career. But when I entered middle school, I had a very incredible experience that changed my life forever. In that class, we had a unit called a rocketry unit. I ended up falling in love with rocketry. My teacher had us all build these model rockets to fly at the back of our school, and it was just mind-blowing that me, a 12-year-old girl, could build and fly a rocket. I looked for a bunch of summer camps, programs that I could apply for free. And so I did a lot of just Googling, and I was like, okay, space camps that I can join. And that summer before 8th grade, I ended up applying for NASA's Sisters program at Goddard Center and got in and spent one whole week at NASA talking with scientists, visiting their different laboratories, and working on your own project with other girls your age. And so after that summer experience and meeting with these different scientists, I realized that, hey, space is something I can be a part of. And one of the things I really want to emphasize today is that space is so interdisciplinary. A lot of times when you think of aerospace, you're like rocket ships, engineering, design, and you can see that the other two speakers are incredible geniuses who work in the engineering side of things. But for others, it could be art, it could be journalism, it could be communication, like Joanne as well. It could be medicine, policy, law, economy, space finance. There are so many careers, and my world just opened up. And I was like, you know what? I don't have to be conventional. I can combine my interest for biology and combine my interest for space and pursue space medicine.
My name is Carolina. I'm a space psychologist at NASA headquarters, Planetary Science Division. I'm currently working on Venus. This is Venus right here on the top corner. I want to be an astronaut someday, like many of you. My dream actually started when my mom woke me up in the middle of the night and she goes, "Come, I want to show you something." And she takes me downstairs and she puts my jacket on and we look up at the night sky. And I saw the most beautiful thing I ever saw. It was my first meteor shower. It was the Perseid meteor shower. And there was a bunch of shooting stars and the whole night sky was lit up. And I fell in love with that moment. So fast forward 19 years later, it's a long time. So I found psychology and I fell in love with it. And I thought that I wanted one dream specifically because I thought, oh, being an astronaut, it sounds too childish to me. Maybe because I had a lot of people telling me, oh, maybe you should put your feet on the ground, literally. My first job was just to scan every single paper here. And it was just, I was miserable. And I remember thinking, like, what is it that made me happy as a child? And I remember looking back and I remember that meteor shower. And I said, you know what, this is what truly makes me happy, studying space. I thought everybody had to be an engineer to be working for NASA or as an astronaut. I found the scientist online and I found the paper that he wrote and I was fascinated. It was about sending astronauts to places like Mars or Venus and all these far, far away places. So I wrote the letter to this person and he wrote back to me a few days later. It was just wonderful talking to him. So when I looked him up online, it turned out I was talking to an astronaut all this time and I didn't even know. He's my mentor. And it's super important to find someone who can guide you towards the path that you want. My friend here, his name is Yankala. He's a pilot. And he's been telling me for months, why don't you come flying with me? And I kept saying no because I thought, no, I have to be focused on my work. But then I said, you know what? All right, let's go flying. So I went flying and I came back and it was just the most wonderful experience. And I decided, I was like, you know what? I'm going to apply to NASA. And so now I'm currently still a NASA intern. And this is something I just wanted to share with you. I always have this thing called the dream board. Anything you want to put on there, anything you dream about, like if you want a fancy car when you grow up, if you want to be an astronaut, or if you want to live in a big house, you can put that image onto your dream board. And so here I have my astronaut that I look at every morning. I work with him because he gives me motivation and he's been with me through everything, all the good and the bad. Lastly, there's this quote that I want to share with you that my grandfather and my dad always told me, and it's más hace el que quiere que el que puede. And that means more can be done by the one that wants than by the one who can.
My name is Valeria. I'm from Arlington Middle School, and this is my design. I put like a bunch of gems, starting to get a hang of it. So I learned one of them that they're from Puerto Rico. I'm half Puerto Rican, and I really want to explore Mars and Venus.
My name is Paola, and I go to the Leahy, and what I did today is this solar moon rover, which the only thing I need to do is just put the battery in so that I can like start moving and stuff.
Excellent. Have you ever built something like that before?
Something similar to this? Yeah. When you want to be something, like, for example, I want to be a teacher when I grow up. Like, there's always challenges to go through that, so then you can actually get there.
My name is Janelise, and my school is South Lawrence East Elementary. We're making a solar moon roller. To not give up and keep up with your dreams. I like the moon because I think it would be a fun experience to go visit, and it'll be a good memory in my life. They were saying to keep up with your dreams, to not give up, because now look at them. They're doing what they dreamed of when they were little.
Oh, yeah, let's go. Let's go this way.
That part.
3,
Where is that part?
Wait.
You're good. Oh. All right.